Inspired by Asian folklore in Moon Bunny, players take on the role of bunny alchemists. Lead your bunny assistants through the lunar landscape. Collect rare Asian herbs and organize them in your workshop to brew the ultimate elixir of life. The bunny who can give this elixir to the world, spreading the most health and happiness, earns the prestigious title of Master Bunny Alchemist on the Moon. Moon Bunny is played in round. During a round, each player takes one turn, starting with the first player and going clockwise. On your turn, move your bunny and bring the herb or recipe it landed on back to your workshop board. Optimize points by matching the public and private recipes. The game ends when either the bag or recipe stack is empty. The player with the most points wins. Setup. Place the following items in the center of the table. Moon board. Choose the correct side for your player count by looking at the number of bunny icons in the upper left corner of the board. Place all herb recipe tiles into the bag and shuffle them. For a 1 to 2 player game, randomly return 18 tiles to the box. Then, place a tile on each space of the moon board as follows. Place tile herb side face up on each blank space. Place tile recipe side up on each space with the recipe symbol. Each player draws 2 recipes from the bag. If there is a diamond at the bottom right-hand corner of the recipe, exchange it for a new recipe. Recipe stack. Draw and form a recipe stack with the indicated number of tiles, recipe side face up, and place it in the public supply in reach of all players. For 1 to 2 player, that's 12 recipes. 3 players, 16 recipes. 4 players, 18 recipes. Tile bag. Place the indicated number of craters and recipe placement tiles into the bag, shuffle them with the remaining herb tiles, and place the bag near the recipe stack. Return the remaining crater and recipe placement tiles to the box. Lounge board. Shuffle the scrolls and place 4 scrolls for a 1 to 2 player game, or 6 scrolls for 3 to 4 player game, on the lounge board ability side up. Return the remaining scrolls to the box. Place the mooncakes in the public supply in reach of all others. Player setup. Each player takes a workshop board, 2 bunny matching their board's color, and a reference card. Each player places their dashing bunny with the dashing icon on the lounge board. Give the first player marker to the player who most recently visited the moon, or randomly select a player. Starting from this player and going clockwise, each player chooses one of the 2 recipes from earlier, places it onto the lounge board, and places the other recipe in their storage area of their workshop board. Each player places their hopping bunny on the tile at the corner closest to their workshop on the moon board. On your turn, you perform the following actions. 1. Move bunny. 2. Place tile. 3. Refill empty space. There are also optional actions including A. Spend mooncake. B. Use scroll. C. Place tile from your storage. There's also a bonus turn, where you take another turn when a recipe is surrounded by herbs in your workshop. Move bunny. Each player has 2 bunnies, the hopping bunny and the dashing bunny. One can only be used on the moon at a time. When moving, bunnies cannot move into or through spaces with another bunny. Because the moon is round, bunnies that move off the board will reappear on the other side. Now, the hopping bunny hops exactly 3 tiles orthogonally in any direction. However, it cannot hop back onto a space it just hopped off of, and it can never end its movement adjacent to its starting space. The dashing bunny. This bunny moves in one orthogonally direction as many spaces as desired. Placing tiles. After moving your bunny, take the tile it ended on and place that tile same side face up in your workshop or storage. Some herb tiles have a mooncake symbol in the top left corner. When you place a tile with that symbol, take a mooncake from the supply and place it on the tile. Tiles placed in your workshop must follow these rules. A. Your first tile must be placed in one of the 4 starting spaces. B. Subsequent tiles must be placed adjacent to previously placed tiles, having at least one side touching the other. C. Tiles must be placed above the workshop board or in one of the 4 spaces on the board. There are 2 sides for the herb and recipe tiles. Tiles drawn from the bag during the game are herb tiles. There are 6 different herbs in 6 different colors. There are 2 main ways to score recipes. Points in the top left corner will score only once, no matter how many times the condition is satisfied. Points in the middle will score for each time the condition is satisfied up to the maximum points if any. Recipes placed in your tile are private recipes and can only be satisfied by your tiles. Recipes on the lounge board are public recipes and can be satisfied by any player. Gain a bonus turn by surrounding a recipe with herbs. If placing a tile causes a recipe to be surrounded by herbs on all possible sides, take a bonus turn after you complete your current turn. Repeat if another recipe becomes surrounded by herbs. Here are some examples of surrounding a recipe with herbs. Refill empty space. A space on the moon is empty when it has nothing on it, neither tile nor bunny. At the end of each turn, including bonus turns, refill the empty space with either the top tile from the recipe stack or a herb tile from the bag, according to the type of space. The bag also contains these special tiles. Crater tile. When a crater tile is placed on a space on the moon, it means herbs are no longer available there. Bunnies can move through the space, but they cannot end their movement on a crater. Recipe placement tile. When a recipe placement tile is placed on a space on the moon, it immediately is considered a new empty recipe space. Place the top tile from the recipe stack on top of this tile. A space with nothing on it except for a recipe placement tile is considered an empty recipe space. There are 3 additional optional actions: spending a mooncake, placing tiles in your workshop from your storage, and using scrolls. During your turn, you can spend mooncakes in your workshop, returning them to the supply to do one of the following. A. Spend 1 mooncake to swap your bunny on the moon with your other bunny resting on the lounge board. B. Purchasing a scroll. Spend a mooncake to purchase 1 scroll. Each player can only do this once per round. Place scrolls near your workshop board. After you purchase a scroll, you can use it immediately or save it to use later that turn or one of your future turns. Flip to its blank side after use. Each scroll can only be used once per game. Scrolls that move your bunny can be used before or after its regular movement and must obey all movement rules. If you have a tile in storage at any time during your turn, you may take that tile and place it in your workshop along with its mooncake if any, following the usual rules. Game end and scoring. The end of the game is triggered when either the bag or recipe stack is empty. Complete the current round, then play an additional final round and count points. Score points for your private and public recipes. For private recipes, if the player who has the recipe is tied for the most or least, they will score the full points. For public recipes, tied player each will score full points. Score 1 point per uneaten mooncake. The player with the most point wins and becomes the Master Bunny Alchemist, gifting the ultimate elixir of life to the world. If there is a tide, the player with the fewest number of herbs in their workshop wins. If there's still a tie, the tied player shared the victory.